What's up, boys? I'm back with my first review of 2025. And you know what? We're starting this year off right. Today, we're taking a look at Dynasty Warriors Origins. Now, right out of the gate, I'm not a big Dynasty Warriors guy. I played a few of them back in the day, talking way back in the day, like PS1 days, maybe PS2. Haven't really touched them in a few years. So I was actually pretty excited to get in here and see what was going on with the Dynasty Warriors games. I saw this game previewed last year at like the PlayStation State of Play or something in like May or June, something like that. And honestly, it looked really good. When I saw that game trailer, I was very intrigued and I wanted to get my hands on it. I wanted to play it. So here we are, finally get to play it. We're going to see how it is. Dynasty Warriors Origins is a hack and slash game developed by Omega Force, which is a division of Koei Tecmo, and published by Koei Tecmo. I also want to say that, preface this review, that I am going to butcher all these names. Character names, everything, so just be ready for that. So the game runs off of the Katana engine, which is the in-house game engine developed by Koei Tecmo. I love that. This is the same game engine used to make games such as Wild Hearts and Rise of the Ronin. And you know what, whether you like or dislike the game engine, it's always nice to still see companies use in-house game engines instead of your typical Unreal slop. You know, bring back in-house game engines. They're what make companies and games feel different and unique from one another. We definitely lost that part of gaming, for sure. Everything's Unreal or whatever. It's unfortunate. This is a breath of fresh air playing on something new that I haven't played in a while. So the story of the game is based on the Chinese novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms, although it specifically only covers the first half of the novel, but it's like a more thorough telling of the story of just that first half. And so you play as a character named Zilowan, the wandering guardian of peace, attempting to reclaim your forgotten memories. And you can choose to help or not help those along the way. You know, will you be the true guardian of peace, or just a filthy mercenary for hire? You know, as Captain Planet always used to say, the power is yours! So yeah, one of the really nice parts of the game is it's not woke. I repeat, it's not woke. But there was one part of the game that I found hilarious and out of place, but I think it might be a translation thing more so than an intentional thing. But I'll get to that later in the review. Alright, let's start with the good aspects of the gameplay. The combat feels really fluid and it's just fun. Hands down. It's just fun. You feel like a one-man wrecking crew out there just slicing and dicing your way through hundreds of enemies, chaining combos and special abilities together. It's a damn good time mowing down entire armies by yourself, you know? You have a set of weak attacks and strong attacks along with different weapon abilities at your disposal, especially depending on which weapon types you're using. And when you're battling enemy generals, once you get their health down low enough, you can activate, the execution moves to finish them off, which pretty much all of them look badass. And also, most of the battles allow you to pick an ally companion to fight by your side, which also leads to its own ability chains and combos. Wan Yu was my boy, and we opened up a can of whoop ass on the enemy, and that's all I got to say about that. Another thing I really liked was that you could still attack even while blocking. So between the fluidness of blocking and parrying, being able to attack while blocking came in handy a lot. And when you do get defeated in battle, you have a chance at restarting from different checkpoints of your choosing in that battle. I'm not exactly sure how they choose or pick and choose what those checkpoints are, but you just go back in time from what you were doing. So it's actually kind of nice. You gain weapon proficiency with different weapons that you choose to use, which gives you access to better combos and stats for said weapons. And this makes you want to unlock more of the abilities with the weapons just to see what the different effects are in battle. And the enemy generals will also sometimes drop new weapons for you to collect after being defeated. And weapons that you get from battles come with different random stat buffs of their own. You can also purchase new weapons and items at different cities that you unlock throughout the game. And there are 6 different ranks to level your character through. There's Knight Errant, Adept, Expert, Master, Hero, and Mizuo rank. I'm gotta be butchering that probably. Each rank has different skills and abilities that you can unlock using the skill points you've earned. And you can bond with different characters throughout the game depending on your actions. Some of these characters will give you training objectives to complete with each weapon, which encourages you to keep it fresh and change up the weapon loadouts frequently. I like that a lot. And completing these training objectives also grants you more skill points for your character. Now, once you complete the game, it unlocks a bunch more progression for your character, including higher weapon proficiencies as well as additional ranks. They give you the ability to reforge weapons, to change their abilities, and combine weapons to make stronger ones. And that's really awesome, but I really wish I could have done this during the base campaign. But it's still pretty awesome, and I'm looking forward to another playthrough now. And also, after completing the game, you unlock the Ultimate Warrior difficulty for New Game Plus. I was like, damn, Ultimate Warrior difficulty? What the hell is this, dude? You start a new difficulty and Ultimate Warrior pops in and yells, "Come on in! We're nightmares on the best part of my day!" That's what I got from that, but I don't know. Well, it's definitely a new way to play the game, and it's way harder. I don't want to even go near Lubu on Ultimate Warrior difficulty, so no thanks. I'm going to have to level up everything in order to go fight that guy again. Alright, so moving on to the bad aspects of the gameplay. For me personally, this is just my pet peeve: no gore. Now, I know that Dynasty Warriors games are known for their arcade style gameplay and aesthetic, but nothing's worse than mowing down huge swaths of enemy soldiers and executing enemy generals just to not see even a drop of blood or gore, man. No dismemberments, no blood, nothing. I mean, that really takes me out of things because you guys know how I like my games fucking brutal. But to be fair, this is just a personal pet peeve of mine, and I just wanted to bring it up. It doesn't really take away from the fun of the gameplay here at all. I just really like me some brutality. Also, the subtitles are very small, even if you turn the setting on large. I mean, I turned the setting on large, it felt like it didn't even move. I mean, it can be really rough to read sometimes, especially if you want to keep the game in Chinese and just read the subtitles. And the subtitles seem to be rendered differently than the cutscenes in game. I don't know exactly what was going on there, but the subtitles had this sort of blur to them. It was just odd and noticeable, but I'm sure it's something that they can easily patch soon if it really was a problem. The camera can be your worst enemy sometimes, as it locks on from general to general during large battles. What I mean by that is you'll be having a battle with one general during a large-scale battle, so there's just people everywhere. And you accidentally hit a different general who's like right behind you. And then all of a sudden you'll flip into a 180 and spin lock onto him and you're fighting him. And then the other guy hits you from behind and it gets really annoying sometimes. But it's not that often that happens, so it's really not that big of a deal. No matter which horse you use or how many times you level them up, they're always slow as fuck. The horses take forever to build up stamina to dash, so you'll just be left slowly riding your horse to battle like your horse is pulling a plow behind it. I mean, this frequently bothered me, but wasn't game breaking, just annoying as hell. And then the Lubu fight was an absolute bitch, dude. Yeah, I got filtered by Lubu the first time. I had to leave and go level up a bit with skirmishes before I could go back and beat that son of a bitch. I guess according to what I know of Dynasty Warriors lore, which is very little, Lubu is like the best warrior in the game, and every other Dynasty Warriors game has you like running away from him or like not really fighting him because he's just way too powerful. But here we finally actually have a fight with the infamous Lubu, and he lives up to every bit of the hype. I mean, it's a fun fight, but damn was he hard at first. I needed to go level up some more before I came back. Also, I didn't know at the time, but when you fight Lubu, you can leave that entire battle and just give up, and then come back when you're ready, and it'll start you right at the Lubu fight instead of making you do the entire battle all over again. I really appreciated that because I would have quit a long time ago if I knew that to go level up. Before I got filtered and pissed. But I didn't think that I could do that, so I was trying so hard to get it done right there, and I was so close. I just didn't want to do the entire battle all over again, but the more you know. Alright, here we go. The one part of the game that I thought was absolutely hilarious was the man doctor. I said earlier that the game wasn't woke, and I still feel that way, but this one here, this I think is just a translation issue, but it was hilarious to me. So this was my doctor companion in the game, Yanwei. Yeah, allegedly that's a dude. The different letters and people that talk about Yanwei always refer to them as him or the man of medicine. Does that look like a fucking man to you? Yeah, like I said, in this case, I think they just messed up with the translations, but who knows, man? Who the hell knows? One thing I'll say about the characters and dialogue in this game is that they are constantly walking this fine line of, are these people gay or are they just super respectful bromances? Conversations that the male characters have with each other constantly leave you wondering, is this sexual innuendo or are they just speaking very bluntly and doing exactly that? What I mean by this is, a character might say to your character, every time I'm around you, I can just relax and be myself. Would you mind spending the night here with me tonight so we can have some drinks and talk more deeply about philosophy? And you're always left wondering, so are they gonna fuck? Or is this dude just really happy to finally let loose and just hang out with this homie and shoot the shit? Because that might be the case. It's very odd. Like I said before, it really doesn't have any of the woke factor going on at all, but it does come off as strange. And this could just be a cultural thing, and that's how respectful everyone actually was to each other in feudal China. I don't fucking know, but it was kind of odd. So to summarize the gameplay, the overall gameplay was a very fun experience. It had just enough progression and unlockables to keep me engaged, and the combat was always a good time, no matter what weapon loadouts I was using. It was just that good old-fashioned video game fun, and I really appreciated that. The game doesn't really innovate too much from what you would expect out of a Dynasty Warriors game, but I think it does enough to make the fans of the series happy while also bringing in new people to the franchise. Alright, so moving on to the visuals, we'll talk about the good aspects of it. The graphics are really good in this game, but not as good as I initially thought they would be when seeing the game trailers for the first time. Because yeah, I made a comment that this game looked like a true next-gen experience, but that's not really the case after playing it. Don't get me wrong, the game still looks gorgeous, it's just that it looks like it could be a high-end PS4 game to me still, and plays like one too. So definitely doesn't bring anything new to the table there. But the character models are done really well here, and all of the women in the game look like women. Isn't that a crazy concept? So that's always nice. And they did a good job of setting the atmosphere during battles. You know, the background scenery looks great, and they did a great job of recreating feudal China here. Feels good. The bad aspects of the visuals, I really don't have too much bad to say here, except that I personally had a few issues running this game at first. For some reason, when I would change my graphics settings, the game would crash no matter what I did. So I just had to roll with the graphics settings that were set for me, which were on high with DLSS on. I'm not really sure why this was the case, but as long as I didn't change any of that, the game played fine and I had no graphical bugs or glitches of any kind throughout my entire playthrough. And it took me about, I'd say I had about 50 hours in my first playthrough, so didn't see anything game-breaking at all. So to summarize the visuals, after my initial crashes when messing with the graphics, the game ran like a charm. The graphics look nice and crisp, the landscapes are done beautifully, and the player models are on point. I mean, Koei Tecmo did a great job with graphics and optimization compared to most modern devs, I would say. This game was ready to play right out of the box, boys. So moving on to the good aspects of the sound. Right out of the gate, the kick-ass soundtrack sets the tone for the upcoming epic battles. The battle music gets you pumped up to do some ripping and tearing, and the soft Chinese folk music when visiting cities and walking the world is pretty refreshing. And the music and sound effects are just very well done here. And as far as the bad, I don't really have too much to say here. There's nothing really bad about the sound from my perspective. So to summarize the sound, they nailed it in this game. From the music to the effects to the voice lines, they really did a great job here to capture that, Dynasty Warriors feudal Chinese feel. So what are my final thoughts of Dynasty Warriors Origins? This game was a great way to start off 2025 for me. It was just mindless fun in the best way possible. From the fluid combat and progression systems, to the great music and sound effects, to the gorgeous graphics and player models, this game has everything you want out of a video game. Even the bad things about this game aren't really that bad. I mean, the camera doesn't happen that much, no gore is just a pet peeve of mine, and so is the horse thing. So I mean, there's not much bad to say about it. The story started out a bit slow, but I ended up really getting into it by the end. I mean, you start to have favorite characters and you get invested in what happens to them. Liu Bei and Wan Yu. They stay kicking ass, boys. So ultimately, should you buy this game? Yeah! Yeah! Yeah, this game is definitely worth a buy. I will say this, however. If you're already a Dynasty Warriors fan, then this is probably a must-play day one. So, disregard. If you aren't, and you're strapped for cash, it's okay to wait for a sale on this one too. The reason why I say that is because the game doesn't do enough differently from other Dynasty Warriors games to warrant having to buy this now at full price. If you haven't played many Dynasty Warriors games, you should pick up the PlayStation Premium Pass and play through a few of them on there, because they have a lot of them. I'm not sure if they have the entire collection, but they definitely have a lot. Do that first and pick this up for half off later. This game is definitely a good time though, and you definitely need to give it a play at some point. Oh, that's all I really have for you guys today. That was a fun experience. I'm looking forward to 2025, and I'm glad to be back doing these. Let me know what you guys think down below. Have you played this yet? And if not, are you planning on playing it? Let me know. Until next time, guys, I'm getting the hell out of here. Peace.